This podcast is sponsored by Liquid IV Festival. Use promo code DailyDaoist at checkout for 20% off. Liquid IV believes that equitable access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. The Hydration Multiplier is a great tasting, non-GMO electrolyte drink mix powered by cellular transport technology to deliver hydration to the body faster and more efficiently than water alone. One stick contains 3 times the amount of electrolytes of traditional sports drinks with 5 essential vitamins. The energy multiplier is designed to enhance the rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into the body. Liquid IV Sleep is a great tasting, non-GMO nighttime drink utilizing the same science of cellular transport technology found in their groundbreaking hydration multiplier product, and is this time designed to enhance the rapid absorption of their sleep gland into the body. If you are ready to shop for better hydration, use my special link, Daily Taoist, to save 20% off anything you order. Go to Liquid IV Festival at http://zen.ai/thedoomerbloomerpod. My life has been an experimental venture aimed at teaching and sharing with others how to find purpose and get on the path to living the best version of themselves. I want to give you and others the roadmap to do the things they love. It's been a decade-long journey to learn these skills and lessons. Namaste from Will NEMO.
All right. Welcome back to the Doomer Bloomer podcast with Will NEMO. We are talking about the hero's journey, how to turn yourself from a doomer to a bloomer, the 12 pillars framework for success, life in business and relationships. Today we have Kasper Hansen.
Correct. Yeah.
All the way from, where are you from, Kasper?
Yeah, I'm from Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah, Aarhus. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long have you lived in Denmark?
I've actually been living here my whole life. So for 25 years. Yeah.
Okay. So born and native Denmark. Does that mean you can go to Iceland for free? Is that part of Denmark?
Well, I can go to Iceland, yeah, but not for free.
Okay. Well, not. I mean, like, does your passports allow you to just like? Because Denmark, your Iceland is part of Denmark. If I recall correctly.
It is a part of Denmark, and it does allow. I think it allows us. I haven't been to Iceland, but I should probably go there at some point. I think it allows us to actually visit Iceland. Yeah.
I think we should meet up in Iceland.
That would be a funny place to meet up as well. We can do a podcast there as well.
So Kasper reached out to me on LinkedIn, the network for professionals. He asked me to fill out a survey about what was your main reason for reaching out to me originally, Kasper?
So that comes down to what I were doing about my research in the company I'm working in right now and I'm building. And it comes down to that I wanted to do a research paper on social media and how podcasts use social media to improve everything within their podcast and within their company themselves as well. So that was the main goal of it, to kind of find the struggles from podcasters and creators, what their struggles were in case of organic marketing and digital marketing as well. Yeah.
And remind me again, what is the name of your agency?
It's called Agency Scale.
Agency Scale.
Yeah,
And how long have you been in the market now?
for about 6 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we hit it off, as they say, and I invited Kasper onto the podcast, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you could say that.
So, can you tell me? I mean, I'm not going to subscribe or put any pressure on you here, but
Mm.
in your journey with agency scale, because you told me in the past you transitioned from in being in the kitchen as a prep cook chef.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your doomer to bloomer path, or some of the struggles that you've encountered trying to become a creator or build an agency?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I've always wanted to start something and build something from the ground up. But to be honest, at the beginning, when I went to high school, if we start from there, if you want to hear the story, when I went to high school, I ended up wanting to start a YouTube channel. I actually did start a channel. I'm not going to mention it because I closed it again after doing some videos. Actually just wanted to travel and experience cultures. And that's why I came into food. And then I went around to become a chef because I could use that while I was traveling as well. And then after the chef education, COVID hit. So I didn't do that much of travel as of yet. And I did travel to Greece and experience a lot of things in Europe while COVID were on, even though I got a lot of experience out of that, but also realized that doing a YouTube channel wasn't for me right now at the particular moment. So I wanted to find a way to start something that could have more meaning for people and help people with all the stuff as well, instead of just focusing on building my own stuff, that I wanted to provide more help with other people as well. And that's where the agency stuff came in. And I kind of there yeah, it went around a few years till I figured out that I wanted to start my own business again. And then I came into that agency stuff again, right, where I got pitched. It's funny enough, a digital advertisement from a Danish guy called Sander Stage. I got pitched his agency, and that he had a course on social media marketing. I got into that, learned everything about that technical wise, and also helped a few people with that. And then I thought to myself, okay, this isn't for me anymore. This isn't what I were going to do my whole life, right? So I thought, okay, I wanted to implement some more creativity because I'm a very creative person in myself, right? And I've always been creative. That's also why I stuck around with the social media. But I also thought, why not try to go into do content instead? So make an agency who focus on content delivery on organic marketing, or through organic marketing and digital advertisement as well, but mainly organic marketing. And that's where I transitioned from social media marketing to, yeah, organic marketing as well through short form content.
Is there any particular niche that you focus on, or are you just more of a general catch-all of an agency?
For me, it's mainly coaches, podcasts, and that's it. Coaches and podcasts, and then the creators as well. But it comes down into those categories. So it's a big area, but still niche down, if you can say so, on coaches mainly. But some of them are also just podcasts, regular podcasts.
Okay. Yeah, no, and you've because we've kind of workshopped some ideas back and forth,
Yeah,
and the thing that Casper kind of put back in my head again is that not everybody listens strictly to a podcast. People are transitioning now to watching podcasts, whether that's on YouTube or a quick TikTok video or
exactly.
Instagram reel. So this year, I'm going to try, or we're going to try, I mean, myself, or Doomer Bloomers and the All True Network, we're going to try transitioning to doing some more video content just to see how the analytics support that, to see if we can bring out some new subscribers. As you can see there, we have a new handle out. It's called All Trews Only, or hashtag All Trews Only. And I'm still on Twitter primarily, but I still have my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook accounts. But we're going to start doing some more short form content around the podcast and see what sort of analytics or what sort of growth we can achieve. And I'm kind of back on the microphone, Kasper. We kind of talked about this before we got on the podcast here.
Yeah.
I haven't really been interviewing people over the past 6 months, mostly for personal reasons. I haven't been feeling up to it, or like mentally or physically healthy. As you know, people know, it's the Doomer Bloomer podcast for a reason, and we go through spurts of good health and creativity, and you have to try and capture that when you can.
Exactly. Spring
is coming in Canada. I'm starting to feel better. My cylinders are starting to fire on all. I'm starting to fire on all cylinders again. I invited Kasper on just to talk about his agency, the state of podcasting in general, where I'm at, personally and professionally. And again, just reaching out to the community and anybody who wants to be involved with the All Trews Only movement, I guess I should say. I do have another question for you, Kasper. I mean, it's kind of not a doozy, but so bring the question, bring it. The question is what would you consider your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it to this point in your life?
Biggest failure. That's a hard one to answer. To be honest, I can't even remember what I answered through the other stuff. But my biggest failure would probably be giving up too easily. At the beginning, when I have, as I've mentioned before, while I went through what I've been doing just shortly, and giving up too early is probably one of them, and that's what I've been building towards not doing the past year and a half right now, especially the past half year since I started the agency. I've really been focused on narrowing down what my focus are and what my main topics are and what I want to do, because I'm also creative wise a very big person on that forefront, right? So I really want to test a lot of things out and implement them in my business, but also some parts needs to stay out of that. So my biggest failure would probably be like in the beginning trying too many different things at once and then leaving them when they were about to explode, if you know what I mean. Like when they were about to go really great, then you skip because you think, I don't want to do it anymore. It takes too much effort. It takes too much time, stuff like that. So wasn't focused on one thing instead of, I wasn't focused on one thing, and I should have been that instead. But that's where the past half year comes in for me, that I have really been focused on what I'm doing now, and it also pays out really great in the end. So
and it's kind of interesting you're talking about that, because as part of my men's work, my men's community, the Awakened Man community with Elaine Dumousseau, who was on last fall.
Yeah.
what we've been talking about lately, like last month's the value or the focus was grit, right? So just not powering through, but just pushing on something or working on something until you can see some progress.
Yeah.
And then this week or this month's value is strength. Not strength and like, the traditional strength of like strong men working out, but just like mental and emotional and spiritual strength even.
Yeah.
So I think we're always a work in progress. I don't think we're ever fully, I don't believe we're ever fully perfect or fully complete, right? I always say progress, not perfection.
Exactly. There's always something new to learn, right? And something new coming up that might give you shiny object syndrome, right? Or not. It depends on who you are as a person. But in this age of time, it's really difficult for people to focus on one thing because they have social media, they have TikTok, they have Instagram, and if they are using that every single day, they won't get anything done. If you know what I mean, right? So that's for sure one of my main, not failures, but hard things that I had to learn to kind of withdraw from that thing, from those things, right, in social media, and then use them as leverage instead.
Right. Well, it's funny, yeah, because you say use social media, but you should, like, I think the verbiage should be
But don't
yeah, don't consume social media,
use it.
right? Use it, but don't abuse it, right? Become a, like, and we talked about this a little earlier.
I'm a giver, not a taker.
Yeah, a giver, not a taker, right? And I think that's what happened with me too. Honestly, guys, with this podcast is I got burnt out from interviewing people who weren't really into giving back to the community, right? There's been a few that stood out. Mike from last or 2021 summer, he did some hosting for me. Mike Messier, and a few others that stick out. But overall, a lot of people, at least not all the people, but it seems to me there's a lot of people out there that are they're very focused on what they can get out of things,
Mm.
right? Whether that's a social media post or a, being on this podcast. They're in it for themselves rather than the service of other, and that's not always a bad thing. But where it becomes a bad thing is where it makes you not attractive to other people, right?
Exactly, but you're right about
I don't know. It's kind of been a bone of contention with me, right? Like I try to put as much value out there through my platforms as possible, like whether it's the Daily Taoist podcast, the All True podcast, or Yukon Gold, and then this podcast about building relationships and
that. Mm.
turning your life turning not well, it's not even turning it around, just turning
Turning,
your life turning it into something that you feel proud about,
yeah,
right? Because even for myself, I don't always feel like I'm the most accomplished in life,
mm.
but that's only when I'm trying to compare myself to other people, right? But if
Exactly.
I, yeah, I don't know if you have this, what I have sometimes, but it's the only real competition in your life should be your former or previous versions of yourself.
It should be, and that's also a thing that I've learned over the past few years, that you should never focus on what other people at your own age have done. Rather focus on becoming better than your previous self, if it's what you want, right? Rather than focus on some is a self-image on your own age, another guy who probably have millions of dollars and stuff like that. You can find those people, and you can also find those who are younger, 10 years younger than you, who have multiple millions. And it's not always about that. It's more about focusing on what it is you completely want in the end, right? And how you can help people. So that's the thing.
Well, yeah, like I think the main cautionary tale there is that if you already don't have like purpose or a full understanding of your own internal psyche, or your own internal inner workings, like if you don't have a good understanding of yourself
Yeah.
and what your core values and your personal life purpose is. And I'm not saying everyone's life purpose has to be some grand thing.
Not at all.
If it's to make $1 million or multiple millions of dollars, go for it. If it's to help as many people as possible, go for it.
Exactly.
But I think the thing that I get, or I struggle a lot with, is the metric that we measure or tend to measure levels of success with, especially in North American society or Western society in general, is how much money do you make? What car do you drive?
Yeah.
What style, what are you a snappy dresser? Right? You get wrapped up in the
Capitalistic society.
or even like the trappings of materialism.
Exactly. It's like it's like what you say, right? If you have too much of everything, you don't feel happy about having like 1,000 different things. At least I don't feel happy about that. I would rather like have nothing than having 1,000 things, and then being focused on something I love doing, than having 1,000 things to take care of. If you know what I mean, right? So that's it. The materialism is a thing that I've already like gotten rid of, and only focus on kind of providing and building. That's it.
Well, the Tao says that when your cup is full, stop pouring. And the other thing it says is that when there is when there is a surplus, you have to give to deficiency. Right? That's the natural order, the natural cycle of things. And in North American culture, we don't do that. Everything is flowing uphill rather than downhill, which is a more natural path. It's easier for things to flow downhill than they are to be pushed uphill. And I think that's partially why, the universe, or my decision to move to the mountains in southern BC, where I can go outside my door, go for a walk, and I'm in the woods in 5 minutes, or I'm able to go in the wintertime to a ski resort, or drive 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I'm at the lake. The things that I value are not materialistic things, right? They're more about the experience and the type of lifestyle that I can have. Right? I don't know, like, I'm not sure if you live in a city or more urban or rural.
I do live in a city, but it's not a big city at all. It's around 10,000 people, so it's not that much. So it's smaller, really small city. With also a forest by the side. I have to go like 5 minutes, then I'm in the forest. So that's it. I'm at the edge of the city.
Yeah, and I mean, and each to their own. Like, I'm not saying that living in the city is for everyone or not for everyone. I have just found for myself my personal comfort zone, or my life level of comfort is to be in the woods, right?
Yeah,
It helps me to like get into a better headspace in general. It's the way, yeah, it's the way I grew up. So
but it truly does for me as well. Like it's what I feel every time I go in the forest, every time I go near the sea, right? Yeah, just every time I'm in the forest, I feel more spiritual and more connected with nature than being in a city and being in an apartment, right? Or a house. You just get so much more out of it because you're naturally born in the nature, right? If you look at it. And that's we just a part of nature, to be honest, and that's a part of it, and that's also why most people feel calm when they go in the nature or stay in the nature, right?
well, they say like a minimum of 10 minutes a day in nature can like improve your health and lifespan. I'm not sure the exact statistic on that.
It
Um,
probably decreases stress a lot, I guess. It probably will do that because it's more meant in our environment, to be honest.
yeah, and coming back around to like some of our previous conversation is, and again, this is why I've been putting out the content around and been absorbing myself. I think that's kind of what's happened to me the last 6 months, Kasper, is that I needed to go inside of myself and reflect on my own inner nature and not be so concerned about who am I going to get on the podcast this week, or who am I going to get on the podcast this month,
Mm.
right? And answer this next message on Podmatch or Matchmaker, and focus on myself and what I want and what I would like the podcast and also the community of All Trews, or All Trews Only, to become, or the Doomer Bloomer community to become, right? And not so outwardly focus on other people, right? I still tend, and I'm working towards not being this way, but I still have a tendency to want to please or be a people pleaser,
Yeah,
right? Because I have a generous nature, right? I do. I will do things for other people because I will genuinely want to help them.
but I
Right?
mean, it's a really good thing that you have a generous nature in its own. I also do have that, but you also need to take care of yourself first, right? But of course, helping people feels good, and that's also why I do it. And you know, it hopefully does for everybody, right? But and I'm like, to be honest, if you are not taking care of yourself first, you can't take care of other people, and that's just the main thing, right? You need to think about before doing those things. That's a first thing, but I guess we are all doing that our best we can.
Well, and I think that's a learning process. I think
Mm.
it's a process that I keep relearning, because besides my regular job and this podcast and reading books and learning about sales and marketing and things like that and going outdoors, and besides that, like you know, I tend to spend, I'm a very introverted person, so I tend to spend a lot of that time on my own, right? But that also comes with the drawback of not ever getting necessarily some feedback on where you're at, right?
Exactly, and that's an important thing as well to get further, right? It is.
Right? You can't always, you can't walk around living inside of your own head,
Mm.
right? And I think it's really easy to just do the 9 to 5 grind, eat some food, come home, put on a show, and just like
Yeah,
rinse and repeat that cycle over and over.
continue that matrix cycle.
Right? It's not ultimately too healthy. Like you need to be like, human beings are meant to be social, like in part of a community,
They are. It's a big part.
right? So I think finally, like through my job, through my work, like where I live, I finally have some community again. And then there's like there's a new element. Like they're I think that the new element, especially like compared to like 25, 30 years ago, nobody was on the internet. The internet wasn't a real thing. There were no communities around anything. But if you want to find a community around something now, you just go Google cooking class or Spanish cooking class, and there's like a whole community around Spanish cooking or Mexican fusion cooking, right? Those so in a way, technology has made us more connected, but also disconnected at the same time.
Yep. It sadly has done both of those. One of them is really good, and the other one is nearly not as good, right? You can say that because, of course, it has connected the world a lot more. But I also think with that, there comes a period in time where we actually figure out how to use it very well. And I also figure we have done it, a lot of us, especially those people who are born with it. I guess we figure out pretty easily how to use it and utilize it better than just staying dissocialized, if you know what I mean, right? Like, because I see a lot of people finding people across the world on the internet and becoming friends with them, and then a year or half a year later they actually meet up together in a country together or something like that. I've seen that multiple times. So yeah, it's pretty insane what the internet has to offer.
Well, and it's funny you should mention that, because I've had conversations about some of my travel vlogger friends,
Yeah.
like, and they've spent some time in the Philippines and Vietnam and Thailand and stuff. And there's a whole digital nomad community around it,
Yeah.
right? It just like there's a podcast community, right? It's what it's what is being dubbed as the conceptual. It's called the conceptual age, right? It's the intersection of real life and digital technology and creativity. It's like the fusion of like information technology, digital creation, and like even like sales and marketing to basically chart your own sort of career. Because I don't believe in 10 years, besides some of the basic, skilled trades,
Yeah.
STEM technologies, right? So science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I don't really believe that a lot of these a lot of these like previous like lower skilled labor jobs, I don't think they're not going to really exist, not in the form that they exist now, right?
I truly believe you're right. And it's not only going to be lower skilled labor job, it's also going to be higher skilled jobs as well. As well as you can just take a look at AI, right? And take ChatGPT and look at that. Facebook has already deployed 4,000, I think, for now. 4,000 people for like stuff like copywriting and stuff like that, right? And writing emails because they can use AI to do that now. And so it's not only low skilled employees, but it's also high skilled employees as well. It's gonna hurt, but that's the thing. But yeah, everybody is probably going to be prompting AI instead. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens.
Well, I mean, I personally have gotten on the bandwagon because I don't want to be left behind. I mean, and at the same time, it's extremely useful for what I do, right? For the copywriting side of things, for, if I just want to send a message, right? If I want to craft a message or,
Yeah.
get even generate some ideas for a podcast. It just, I believe personally, like these things are tools, right? So
Yeah.
they're just like anything. They're tools to be utilized, right? So
That's right. And you can use them for many things other than tools. You can also use them for writing a book if you wanted to, or getting tasks done if you needed to do that. It can be implemented for almost anything, or doing art as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening at the moment in that area.
I do have another question for you.
Yeah.
Uh, what advice would you give to someone wanting to pursue a career similar to yours?
Get in touch with people who could help you become better at the agency stuff, in case if you want to do social media marketing or just marketing in general, at in an online business. It can be very oversaturated in some areas like social media or digital marketing, but if you choose a niche and stick to it at a certain area at social media, you could easily, yeah, get paid pretty well from doing that. Only having like 6 or 5 clients, you could have a full-time job by doing that easily. So what I would recommend is probably find the best course out there and get into that, and find groups as well and get into those. But you have to be careful doing that as well, because there's a lot of scammers out there, and but you can find a lot of good guys as well. But it's pretty hard. You just need to have a very good intuition while researching that stuff, right? So my recommendation would be find a mentor who's in that niche and is doing really well as well already, so you can learn from him, right? That's the best. That's what I did, and that's the best thing to do, I guess.
Fantastic.
Mm.
And what were three of the best resources that had helped you along the way?
Ooh, free best resources. Well, finding a sales mentor, finding a mentor who already has an organic marketing content agency, and yeah, sales mentor and the agency mentor, and then just truly hitting up connections, finding new connections overall on LinkedIn and social media, connecting with people, and then reading sales books, I guess, and digital marketing books as well. That's it.
What
I think so.
which books would you what book would you recommend people read?
So for the sales part, it's Jordan Belfort. That's one of them. Uh, yeah, The Wolf of Wall Street, I think it's called that. And yeah, you have a lot of them. But that's one of the main ones. I would definitely recommend people to read for the sales part, and the sales is really important. Yeah, and that's mainly it. There's a lot of other different ones, but to be honest, I have a whole stack of them. I can't remember all of them.
I would recommend $100 Million Offers by
Yeah, that's one of them as well.
Alex Hermosi.
Yeah,
He's been in he's been in marketing for 15 years, so
he's
in gyms, but he's transitioned to acquisitions.com. And
exactly. He's a great guy. I also took a lot of inspiration from the offer that I have created in my agency as well, and he's a great guy to take experience from as well.
and
Yeah,
then personally, are there two or three people who have been who have who are two or three people who have been most influential to you?
The most influential people. Well, one of them is when I did the cooking and I worked as a chef, right, for half a decade almost. I gained a lot of experience from my first head chef. He's a guy called Søren, not that well known. He's not on social media or anything like that. But he had a very different view on the world like anyone else I've ever seen. So he just had a lot of great experiences and also hard experiences through life that the way he taught me stuff were kind of different from anything else. You have to go the opposite way on what everyone else is doing, right? To kind of gain the knowledge you have to gain in order to become what you want in life and find out what you need to be and you want to be, right? So he taught me a lot of stuff, and then my mentor is especially one of them who I have now, and yeah, also my sales mentor for sure.
All right. Is there anything, if I could ask you anything that I haven't asked you, what would you like to talk about?
Ooh, I'm all up. Omias, what do you want to talk about? I'm open for anything. Should we talk about the new technology that we have been doing right now? What do you have something you want to go through?
Uh, I'm just wondering, where do you go from here? I mean, it's
Business,
it's
business wise.
yeah, it's spring 2023.
Yeah,
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 7 years, let's say?
that's a good one. Well, I see myself have another business by the side that I'm building as well right now. I'm not going to mention too much out of it because it's in the building process as well. And yeah, well, I can mention one thing. It's going to be an e-commerce business, and it's pretty exciting, and it will be in the niche of cooking. So that's going to be interesting with info products. So yeah, to see what's going to happen there. And I've been building that for a while now, and yeah, really excited to get it launched on all social media platforms. So can't wait for that.
And I am going to be a top 100 podcast in 5 to 7 years, I think.
Okay, okay, okay.
You didn't ask me, so I thought I'd jump in there.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good bet as well. Sorry for not asking.
I'm just riffing now.
Yeah, yeah, sure. But that's awesome. That's a great goal, though. To be honest, I also have some goals. If we're going to speak about goals, I also have some goals to be moving to another country and living there in not half a year, but probably 1 or 2 years from now. My main goal is to, yeah, just be living as a nomad and traveling in between areas, especially Bali and Dubai, probably also, and then Europe and USA as well.
Yeah, I've had some people or my digital nomad friends talk to me about moving to Thailand at some point.
Okay,
Apparently there's a fairly large community in Thailand around digital nomading. I think that's my at least 2 to 3 year goal.
okay,
I know personally I want to get out of Canada. I'm really kind of tired of winter.
yeah.
It's still it's April and there's still snow outside my door.
Holy shit, we have 20
Yeah,
degrees right now over here.
yeah, like it's kind of bullshit.
Hmm.
Pardon my French.
No, I get what
Uh,
you mean, right? Because I also live in a harsh environment in that case, because we kind of lie at the same place, right? Even though we don't have the mountains, we still have the cold weather and rainy seasons. So that's
yeah, exactly.
for sure.
One last thing there, Kasper,
Yeah.
is where can our listeners connect with you online, your coaching link, your online website, and your social media handles?
Okay, I think the easiest part would be the social media panels, and that's at Kasper Hansen on Instagram and on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I will link that into the description of the video and the audio podcast now.
Okay.
And yeah, final thoughts before I sign off.
No, I think that's it. I'm just happy to be on, and this was my very first podcast, so a bit nerve-wracking, but well, it went pretty well, I guess. So yeah, that's just awesome to be a part of the community.
Thank you for joining the All True community of Doomer Bloomers. On that note, guys, thank you for listening. All Trews Only, Doomer Bloomers, Daily Taoist, Yukon Golders. Man, I got a lot of podcasts, man. If you want to get in touch with me, connect, it's better or best to message me at my Twitter handles, at the Daily Taoist, at Doomer Podcast, Yukon Gold Limited, and All Trews Only. I'm also now on TikTok as All Trews Only and at the Daily Taoist. So we're going to do a little bit of social media experimenting. Is that a word?
Yeah, experimenting.
Experimenting.
Yeah.
I'm new to the TikTok platform, so we'll see how that goes. Been playing around with CapCut. This podcast should be live in about a week or so. Once again, I also have my Substack, will.nemo, willnemo.substack.com and thedailytaoist.substack.com. Got my LinkedIn profile. Just do a quick Google search for Will Nemo, and all of my projects should come up. Thanks for listening, guys. Kasper, thanks for coming on. It's been a good return to the mic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Happy I could join as well.
Namaste. Cheers.
Cheers.
Doomer Bloomers, are you feeling like life has thrown you a curveball and you just cannot seem to get a break? Are you tired of facing mental health issues, poverty mindset, or just feeling lost and uncertain about your future? Then it is time to join the Doomer Bloomers Institute and take back control of your life like never before. We believe that everyone deserves the chance to succeed in life, business, and relationships. And our mission is to help people just like you overcome the challenges that stand in your way. With our exclusive membership levels, you'll get access to a range of tools, resources that will help you bloom into the best version of yourself. At the Doomer Bloomer Bachelor's level, you will get a generalized study program, a limited edition mini print, and exclusive 10% discount on our merchandise store. And that is just the beginning. Our Doomer Bloomer Master Level course offers an Alexa Echo Dot speaker to help you tune in and unplug from all the craziness of the clown world order around us. A customized study program, weekly mentorship calls, a monthly book club to help keep you motivated and engaged. But for the ultimate Doomer Bloomer experience, you will want to join our Doomer Bloomer PhD level with a dedicated 12 Pillars mentorship course, exclusive access to me, and unlimited access to our branded merch store. You will have everything you need to take your life to the next level. Plus, as a PhD member, you'll be featured on our podcast to showcase your blog, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and God forbid, that Chinese virus, TikTok. But the perks don't end there. As a member of the Doomer Bloomers Institute, you'll get to connect with like-minded people in our Discord server, Telegram groups, and Signal chat. We're We're proud to partner with Yukon Gold, Doomer Bloomer Media, the Daily Dallas Foundation, and advocate for All Trews Only worldwide. So what are you waiting for? Join the Doomer Bloomer Institute and start blooming like never before. Let us help you overcome your challenges, achieve success, and create the 1% life of your dreams. Visit our website or follow us on social media to learn more. Namaste from Will Nemo.